Now, let's get into our first top story. Donald Trump's overseas envoy, Steve Witkoff, is traveling to Germany this week to meet with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders to discuss the latest version of the proposed peace plan. The Americans are keen to have a deal in place by Christmas, despite little signs of a breakthrough on the horizon. Well, I'm joined now by Alina Frolova, Deputy Chair of the Center for Defense Strategies and Ukraine's former Deputy Minister for Defense. Alina, thank you so much for giving us your time. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting.
Alina, do you think it's realistic that we may have some sort of peace agreement by Christmas?
Well, frankly saying, no one here among the expert community believes in conclusion of such an agreement or whatever it would be, because actually if we look like a very sober at the situation, there is no precondition, no from Russian side, no from Ukrainian side, to have this like a ceasefire or peace deal, because the terms of Ukraine is not acceptable for Russia, terms of Russia is not acceptable to Ukraine. So I see no such a strong perspective for that.
What are the major sticking points right now as you see them?
Well, for Ukraine, it's obviously very important not to have some kind of legalization of occupation of the territories, especially no one here is ready to discuss the Ukrainian step out from the territories, which we control now as under governmental control. And Russia insists on these positions. And plus, of course, Ukraine is not ready to say that, no, we are not going to NATO, because we still consider that this is about the right for sovereignty. And we are not accepting any attempts to say to us what we should do, what we shouldn't do. And we have this like a NATO clause in our constitution. So that's like something which Ukraine obviously won't reject, but not Russia won't accept. And that's why I don't see any some kind of preconditions for realization of any kind of agreement for now.
Do you think there is a landing zone, perhaps, when it comes to territorial issues? Are there concessions that Ukraine would be happy to proceed with if it meant guarantees and an end to the fighting?
I mean that there is no some kind of strong guarantees which are proposed to Ukraine, no from Ukraine, no from United States, no from Europe. Yes, so we speaking about what we saw from American proposal, it was again assurances, not some kind of guarantees. And that's very critical and important, because in Budapest Memorandum, we also had an assurances from United States, from Great Britain, nothing happened. We all know. So that's, let's say that the level of trust now to the promises which American administration is given is very low among Europeans and among Ukrainians also. So before seeing some kind of very strong and very practical and probably approved by Congress guarantees, I don't think that we can discuss any further movements. And we don't see even approaching to some serious agreement in that relation.
So are you saying that there is a trust issue right now, that even if you were given guarantees, it would be very difficult for President Zelensky to take them at face value?
It depends. If that would be only some kind of a Trump guarantee, so that I think that that's something which could be very questionable. If that would be some guarantees which will be approved by Congress and would be strong enough, for example, about the placement of some weapons, I don't know, legal obligations of usage of the troops and so on, that could be an issue which obviously would be interesting for Ukraine. But this is not even the beginning of the discussion of such guarantees.
Where do you think these negotiations need to start from first, and in a realistic way, if you like, Alina, in the fact that when it comes to peace negotiations, neither side can be seen to win, neither side can be seen to have got away with everything on their wish list. So where would you start?
Well, at least we should start from understanding that Ukraine is publicly claimed all the time from US that we have no cards, which is not true. Ukraine has like quite a strong position, and you see that how, for example, the new change of the war at the sea, when Ukraine is like targeting the shadow fleet and proceeding with that very actively, destroying Russian economy. So that's not like Ukraine is in very weak position. I would say that we more or less unequal. Russia prevails in number of troops. We prevails in some kind of more clever and intelligent battlefield operations. And obviously, Ukraine actually publicly declared that we ready to speak about any peace deal or ceasefire after the ceasefire actually will be reached on the current frontline operation. So we're not moving frontline, we're fixing the front line. We start to speak about the some kind of agreement, because there could not be any peace deal without actual ceasefire, and Russia is not ready to that. So you cannot, because you can't discuss peace deal like a years. If you will look at the history, most of the peace deals in current wars were been reached within 4 or 5 years. So that's not something which can be reached within 2 weeks and which can be reliable and stable. So there is a possibility to start, but we need to reach the ceasefire at the current operation line. And then we can speak if that ceasefire would be a serious one.
And just finally, Alina, in terms of the Ukrainian population, where are they right now with this peace agreement? Are they at a point where they just want the war to end and they're happy to concede if they must? Or are they firmly behind President Zelensky and saying, look, we are not going to be the ones that lose out on this peace deal just for the sake of the peace deal? Are they prepared to carry on fighting?
That's like a difficult and easy question, because yes, the whole population is very tired. Now we have great problems with electricity supply, and with Russia is hitting a lot our energy generation. But if you look at the polls, most of the population, I mean the critical number, more than 76%, I believe, are not ready to accept the peace conditions, like on any conditions, peace on any conditions, because no one is ready to give up territories. No one is ready to give up the sovereignty right. And that is why, and we still have mobilization, which is going on. So there are people, and at least 30% of those who are joining army now are volunteering, joining armies. So there is no signs that population is ready to give up and accept any conditions. Oppositely, I would say that if you will come to Kiev or some other cities, no one cares which one. Odessa, for example, which suffered this night very heavily. You will see how small business are operating. People are still going out to drink the coffee outside, speaking to each other and saying that they won't see us like giving up.
Okay.
So I would say that we're tired, but we still ready, not even ready. We're passionate about protect our country.
Alina, I have to leave it there. Thank you so much for giving us all this time. I really appreciate it. Alina Frolova, there, Deputy Chair of the Center for Defense Strategies and Ukraine's former Deputy Minister of Defense.